Okay, welcome to another Vintage League here, and today we are trying to slam Uncounterable Lavinia on turn 1 as much as possible into a sea of fast Moxen combo decks, and we hope that that wins games. Let's see if it does. And we are surrounding that by a Bant human shell here, so Lavinia is a human soldier, so if you want to slam Uncounterable Lavinia on turn 1, we need to build a humans deck or a soldiers deck. Now, I've played soldiers recently. If you go back a couple of weeks, I played vampire soldiers. That was a nice 4-1 league there. It's I just had some recording issues on that one that I've, in the weeks since fixed. So it's a bit rough of a video, but strong 4-1 league if you want to see soldiers in action, but today we are going to be doing humans. So the idea is we have Lavinia, we have 4 Chrome Moxes, and then we've got Mox Pearl, Mox Sapphire, Black Lotus, which are standard cards in a Lavinia deck you can use to play it on turn 1. But we want to play it on turn 1 as much as possible here, so we are also adding in 3 Chrome Moxes to help us get an extra blue or white pip so that we can play Lavinia on turn 1 a lot. That's the goal, at least. Surrounding that, we have other humans. Like I said, we're a humans deck now. 4 of our lands here are caverns. We're going to be naming human. What are the good humans? So we're starting with Noble Hierarch. This one makes all of our colors. So it's a 1 mana Doric human, and it's got the upside in Exalted. Does this die to Orcish Bowmasters? Yes. Is that bad? Yes. Is Orcish Bowmasters a 2 mana card killing your 1 mana creature at the end of the world and they're in your deck that doesn't really draw any cards? Because we'll get to it later, but our draw kind of gets around Bowmaster. No, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. Next, we'd already talked about Lavinia. So if you're not familiar with this one, each opponent can cast non-creatures with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls, and in order to cast a spell with no mana, they counter it. So Moxen get countered, Force of Will, Force of Negation, that's pitch cards get countered, Hollow one for free, gets countered. And we also want to keep their lands down, because that's part of the text here. If we want them to not play the 1 ring at 4 mana, we have to do some things to try and stop them from actually getting to 4 mana naturally. We got Wastelands and Strip Mines here. That's good. We've got 2 Dauntless Dismantlers. This is another one that's a good prison-style mana dork for a human that we can play uncounterably on turn 1, and it really puts a damper on a lot of those fast mana artifacts, starts, and can blow up artifacts also. This is a questionable choice. It was a late addition here. I kind of wanted a little more oomph in the deck, and this is a Lord for all of our humans and gives them Ward 1. The Ward 1's especially nice against some of the bizarre decks that are going to try and remove things like Containment Priest. And it's also just makes things a little nicer mana-wise. So like, we talked about Orcish Bowmaster for 2 mana can kill Noble Hierarch. If you've got a Coppercoat in play now, it costs 3, and those trades don't seem so bad for us anymore, but on the flip side, by itself, this card's awful. You need like 3 or 4 humans in play that you've accumulated to make it decent, really. So I think this one's pretty questionable, but we're going to give it a shot today. It's seen play in Legacy Humans when that was a thing. But this is definitely one of the more questionable choices in the deck. We'll get to the non-humans in a minute. We'll start with the humans. So we got Brutal Cathar here, nice removal human. When it enters or transforms, you exile a creature an opponent controls, and then he flips and becomes a 3/3 first striker with ward. Then if it flips back, you get to exile another creature, so that one's pretty good. Glenn is a draw engine that can be pumped with Noble Hierarch. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card equal to its power. If you got Noble Hierarch in play, it swings for 2. You got 2 Noble Hierarch, swings for 3, and then you draw 3 cards. Can be quite nice here. You probably recognize Glenn from the Walking Dead series there. Next, this one isn't technically a human, but it's got human synergy, so we're going to cover it now. This does a lot of stuff. You've probably never read this card because it's a transformer, but it's actually really good. So you can play it on either side. How this works is you can play it on its front side, the left side here, for 1 white and blue at the top. Or if you read the more than meets the eye ability, that's white and a blue, it's just the first line of text on the left-hand side there. You can actually play it on the right-hand side for your 2 mana. So this is normally a 2-drop. You just play it for white and a blue. So if you play it for white and a blue, it comes in as Goldbug, Scrappy Scout on the right there. Humans use spells you control can't be countered. That's nice. We have Cavern already, but it's not bad to have another card that does that. Whenever Goldbug and at least 1 human attack, draw a card and convert Goldbug. Drawing cards is good. That's very nice. And when it attacks, it converts. So it converts during the attack step there. And when it converts, this is important, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking humans you control. So the human that you just attacked with in order to transform Goldbug and draw a card now is not going to receive any combat damage. So very nice. And your opponent's not going to read this card, so they won't know that. And then we've got the last bit of here is when you cast your second spell each turn you convert Goldbug, so you can put it back face down and make your stuff uncounterable, and then draw more cards. So for either 2 or 3 mana, depending on which side you want to play this on, you can do either one if you've got 3 mana. It does a ton of stuff, and also pitches the forces. And then we have Sokrates. Sokrates should not be in this deck. This card combos with things like Hull Breacher. We'll read its text in a second here. It combos with cards that limit your opponent's card drawing, so Hull Breacher is kind of the obvious one. But I really like this card. Sokrates was a great, Actually, I don't know much about Sokrates, but I just like this card. I like Universes Beyond stuff, so it's in the deck. So how this card works is it's got hexproof as long as it's untapped, and it has tap until end of turn. Target creature gains. If this creature would deal combat damage to a player, prevent that damage, and then this creature's controller and that player each draw half the many cards rounded down. So let's say we're getting attacked by a 6/6 frog. We tap this. The frog deals no damage to us, and then both us and our opponent draw 3 cards, which is why it's nice to have Hull Breacher with this card. If you have Hull Breacher in play and your opponent attacks you, you can tap Sokrates to not to have that creature not deal no damage, and then only you draw cards, and then you also get treasures from your opponent not drawing cards. So it's very nice with Hull Breacher. By itself here, it's pretty meh, but I just like the card a lot. We'll stop talking about it. Okay, this one's really good. I've played this before, though I played Bant Humans, I think back in the end of 2023. I had a trophy with it, actually, if you want to check that out. But this card was in that deck, and it was very good. So this is a draw engine every turn that gets around Orcish Bowmaster. When it enters, you'll get the top 6 cards of your library. You can put a human or artifact into your hand, and the rest of them out of your library and whatever. So when it comes in, and then when it attacks, you look at top 6 and get a human or an artifact. That's like most of our deck. So this can grab all sorts of stuff. It can grab removal like Brutal Cathar. It can get some engines. It can get some mana. It grabs Moxen. It does a lot of stuff for us, which is pretty cool. It's blue. Yeah, I like this one. Then we've got Rick. This is kind of our late game piece. So when Rick comes into play, you get to pick one of the abilities of First Strike Vigilance. You get 2 of them, First Strike Vigilance and Lifelink. And then if you got 4 or more humans, including this one, they all get +2/+2. So this is our late game piece. It's kind of like a bigger version of Coppercoat Vanguard here. It's our Lord. It's like a super Lord. Does so much. Oh, and it's from The Walking Dead. Boromir's from Lord of the Rings. And then we got Transformers. This is Assassin's Creed, but then Sokrates, of course, was like a real person. We've got Rick. Yeah. Yep. Okay, and then the last one here is Arcade Gannon. This one's from Fallout. Another human. It's got human synergies. Tap, draw a card, discard a card, put a quest counter on it, and then once during each of your turns, you may cast an artifact or a human spell from your graveyard with a mana value less than or equal to the number of quest counters on Arcade Gannon. There's just so many of these human synergy cards recently in the Universes Beyond sets. This one gets humans, this one finds humans, this one is a lord for humans, this one protects humans and makes them uncounterable. There's just so many of these human tribal cards in the Universes Beyond sets for some reason. Some of them are quite good. To round this package of human synergies out, we've got 4 Force of Wills, of course. This is vintage. 2 Force of Negations. The format's quite fast right now. Stock Up is an amazing card. It's fueling resurgences in Lurrus PO, Lurrus Breach, Oath of Druids. Just a lot of stock up running around right now. And then it also does work against the shop decks that are trying to prey on some of the Lurrus decks. 2 Okos. You know, really excellent, arguably the best green-blue card we've got. So we're going to play a couple of these that does all the things that it, you know, probably aware of it does. It turns off all the artifacts, creatures, and also it's an engine by itself. Time Walk does not need an introduction, or Misstep or Recall, or Swords to Plowshares, hedge against creatures, and then we're mostly a creature deck, so we're playing the one of Deafening Silence in the main deck here is a bit of a hedge. Alright, we covered the mana base. We're trying to get Lavinia down as quickly as possible, but this also ramps into our pretty high curve here. Noble Hierarch also helps with that. The idea is we're trying to play something very quick to lock the board down, and then we've got some of these engines that are going to try and make up for the card disadvantage here. That's roughly the idea. Land base is pretty standard. We've got 1 basic and a bunch of duals we can fetch for our colors, Wasteland, Strip Mine, and Cavern. I think the biggest concern is the deck's a little anemic right now, and a little anemic in that we're not doing anything super powerful. I think Rick's the most, just objectively powerful thing we're doing. It needs 4 humans. I'm not sure if Coppercoat Vanguard is really any good. We might need just some more ways of just closing the game out quickly, I'm thinking. We got Oka, we've got Rick, but I do feel a little light on just heavier win conditions here. Even if we get it down to turn 1 Lavinia, maybe just not quite enough if we have to take a bunch of turns to actually win the game, but we'll see. I think that's one of the big things to look out for in this league. Sideboard here. We've got Oath of Druids and Dredge, Hate here, and Containment Priest. Just Dredge and, Counterbind, kind of Hate here, and Soul Guide Lantern. Another Oko to bring in against Lurrus Control. 2 more Swords to Plowshares to bring in against decks like Lurrus Control, Mono White Initiative, along with the Brutal Cathar. Another Trap to bring in for some of the combo decks. And then there's a lot of Workshop decks running around, too. And they can go bigger than us and do a lot of stuff that's not fun. So we're trying out 4 energy fluxes here. Trying to go really hard against some of the artifact decks in the meta right now. Quite like this card right now. Yeah, and that's it. And then if you're still here, like, comment, subscribe. That's all really appreciated. And I'll see you in round 1. Alright, we've got what I like to call a bad hand, but I think we keep it. Yeah. We have a Tempo Misstep, potentially. Turn 1 Coppercoat. Yes, firing this off. Dual shops, okay. Lavinia, please Lavinia. 1 time Lavinia. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Lavinia. Lavinia. Ooh, okay. Alright. Human. That is not terrible. Saga, we can answer that. Okay. Okay, what do you got for 3? Nothing? Okay. We got a Talon Gaze, that's bad for us. We could definitely lose here. Force of Will would be nice. I would like a Force of Will, please. It's not a Force of Will. Stock up, short. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Dauntless Dismantler. Those all seem like good hits. Wasteland. Wasteland would be a good one. That's a fucking bad one. Four. Alright, maybe our direct has too many 4-drops in it. They can now bounce Lavinia. We can cast PO. They can do lots of stuff here. We've got nothing. We don't even have lethal next turn. Stasis. Alright, fair play. I guess this is not Jewel. We're against Stasis. Interesting. We still can't. If we could actually have played a human, we could have threatened lethal, but we can't do that. Interesting. That's really cool. Much props to our opponent there. Our opponent's on the spicier deck. That is not something I'm used to. All right. We're going to play Boromir and get our Dauntless Dismantler. Let's see what they got here for us. We got an artifact for us. Okay. So we've got ring protection. So we can't do anything about the ring protection, but we can just swing with Boromir to take a peek. What's there? I guess we take Brutal Cathar. And I think we'll play Gannon. I'll play. I think I want to get this one down for the vigilance. Vigilance for sure. Vigilance. Do first strike and vigilance. Blue. Stock up. Yep. Find another ring here, they can get a fog again. And they've got 6 mana instead of 6 lands at this point, so they can play anything in their deck, I'm sure. They can PO the ring back to their hand there. Sure. We have a really hard time beating this. Could really use a Force of Will. Glenn, Lavinia, Hierarch. I guess Glenn. Got Arcade Gannon on the stack. Just one that mills, and you can play humans and artifacts from our for our graveyard. We got our Lotus. Oh, wait! Don't. We could have just cast our Lotus. I think. Yeah. That was silly. I don't think it matters. Either our opponent kills us or they don't, but they can, between rings and POs, they can probably just keep looping ring protection, and then however they get to kill us, they do it. Since we can't find a Force of Will to save our life, or a Force of Negation there, we can't really protect against anything here. Yep. Can we? No. Play our Lotus. That doesn't do anything. Could have swung first, I guess. I don't think it really matters. Probably trying to figure out why there's a Lotus on the stack. What did they pitch? Stock up? They're gonna swing and grab a human. We'll get Goldbug. We want to draw cards. So we're going to play it converted. White. I'm not sure why this would matter, but just in case, we're going to play out this. So they either have to PO it again or play a ring. Stock up. Because we can't find a Force of Will or a Force of Negation, we just have to sit here. Sure. It's probably a problem for them now because they have to untap it. Or they die. They gotta deal with the ring now, or they die. They've got to deal with Mana Vault. They have to play a ring or just kill us here with, like, something. Draw more cards. They got a ring. Sure. Yep. They can use their tomb now. Or not. Let's draw with Gannon. Get rid of his swords. What is this one? Whenever Goldbug and at least one human attack. Okay. So we'll attack with Boromir and Goldbug. Get another Dauntless Dismantler just to be safe, I guess. And no Force of Will. I'll play the Dismantler. You got to untap this now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure. And they draw. They play a ring. The ring dies. Oh, I could have converted Goldbug. I think I can still do it on my turn, but could use the draw. Beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. Okay. Play Deafening Silence. Human. Let's just play this one out. We're converting our Goldbug here so we can draw another card. Draw with Gannon. Hey, we got a force. Hooray. Get rid of one of the Cathars. And then we will pass. Okay. What do they got for us here? This has been a long game. Weaken force, but they can almost certainly just horse back, so. Pretty cool deck, though. And they force that, I guess. Alright, they're off it. Interesting deck for sure. I think I want the fluxes, the trap. I'm not convinced I need swords. Rick. There's Sokrates. Got the other Rick, I guess. Yoko does do some stuff. It hits the hits the ring. Three swords, Cathar. I think that's providing some sort of protection, making it slightly more annoying to bounce stuff, I think is useful. Deafening Silence won us the game, apparently. Interesting. We got turn 1 misstep, turn 2 block, so I think we keep this. Not amazing though. If you want to ship this, I would not crap, blame you. Oh boy. Turn 1 Urza. Okay. Kind of want them to counter this, they don't. Please play a 1-drop, please play a 1-drop, please, 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 please play a 1-drop. Our guy phased out, that's fine. 1-drop, 1-drop. 3-drop, unstoppable plan, sure. Okay. I think we just want to go for the time walk here. don't care about the time walk. Drawing like a Force of Will would be good. Oko seems not as good. Just try and get this down. Then we can wasteland them. They can make mana. Yeah, they can tap their artifact to make mana to save it. It's interesting. Phasing out our guy again. No! Oh, that was dumb. I was not thinking. Yeah, that was very bad. Should have wasted them. I think I just want to elk Urza. But yeah, I definitely should have not done the plays I did there. Yeah. Well, the Talon Gates or the Workshop. I think I want to hit the Talon Gates. That lets them play Stasis. That can actually make mana if it gets filtered, but you need a couple mana sources to get that going. Human. Blue, white, blue, blue. Get the Dauntless Dismantler. We will make a food. We will attack. Alright, let's see what they got for us here. Next turn, if we can get our Dauntless Dismantler down, I'll feel better. Oh, right. I think I do. Yes. take the Goldbug as a potential blue card if we draw a force or something. Or we could just play the Goldbug, not sure how important that is. Definitely want to get this one down, so I'm going to make this one uncounterable. I think I want to hold Goldbug for force, because I think we win next turn unless they have something. If they have something, the game keeps playing, and I want something like a force. And we can also, I guess, blow this up in theory if we want to. Alright, very cool match, very cool deck from our opponent there. Yeah, beginning of your end step, untap currency control, the combo with Stasis. Big fan of this one. On to the next round. Alright, here we go, we're on the play. Keep that. Going for the Chrome Mox here. Probably considering forcing it. We have to force back. Looks like they're on oops. They're gonna double force it, okay. I think if that's the case, we actually want to put the Coppercoat underneath. That way, if they... Interesting. Let's see if it resolves. I think there's a case to be made to put the Coppercoat under it. Then they can force what comes afterwards. That way, if this gets forced, we could try again next turn. Alright, well, now it feels silly, but oh well. Oh, it's bizarre. Okay. So they're on Countervine then. They got Narcomoebas. Interesting. Dredge? No, it's Dredge then, right? Yeah, it's Dredge. So we're dead unless we find a wasteland. That is not a wasteland, so yeah, we're probably just dead now. Alright. Let's see what we got. We can't block the flyer. This attack doesn't really do anything, but why not? We're dead here. It's okay. We can bring in, let's see, we're a little light on sideboard cards for this matchup. We've got 4 Containment Priests, 2 Soul Guides to bring in. Alright, off to game 2. So we want their graveyard hate. Force of Negation doesn't really do anything. Forces can still protect our priests, so I think some of those are okay. The Glen can't even really get through. We have quite a few bad cards. Quite a few bad cards. Ricks can help us stabilize. That's okay. Coppercoats are fine. They can protect our stuff. Same with Lavinia. We aren't well situated for this matchup at all, but I think this is about as good as it gets. Alright, so we keeping this. Interesting. Let's see if they hit the Chrome Mox. No. I think we gotta put the would have liked to have another card there. We could have protected the Containment Priestess. Is definitely scarier. I think there definitely is a case to slow this down and try and get this down and then the priest to protect it. I do kind of regret this. We can lose the Sickening Shoal here for sure. We can also lose the Double Hollow one. Alright. They have a sickening shoal too, that'd be pretty brutal. That would have been a much better turn 1 play. Couldn't have played the hollow ones then. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. Right, we need a lot of help here. We're dead in very quickly. Yep. Yeah, 7-card Bizarre Hand is going to be very hard to beat. That's just how this works. We have to play this way. If we play it converted, it's going to be smaller. We need to trade with the stupid thing. I don't even think we have outs anymore, but I think we can just scoop to that. We're going to get more prized amalgams coming in. It's off to the next round. Alright, here we go. We're on the play. I think it's okay. I'll keep it. So, oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, we're dead. We are very dead. We have to waste on our turn, Because if we don't, they get to Dredge, and then they can bring it back with the Noxious Revival, or if they just have a second one. They took the negation anyway. Okay. I mean, I think we have to waste here. Try and get lucky. They got a revival. Yeah, you were dead. All right. All right, let's give this a whirl. Not thrilled about it, but not really prepared to play against Dredge here. Sure. They kept 7, that's a problem. Could really use a containment priest. I think we have to play Boromir looking for a containment priest. We don't have a blue card to pitch to force, very annoyingly. Didn't even find a containment priest. Oh boy. Pitch the force card, I guess. So, if they got 6 cards, so I think we're just dead to stuff, but we can at least try and counter this. They're just going to counter it back, though. Yep. Okay. We're going to attack and we're going to try and find our stupid containment priest. Come on, we have 4 of them in here. We also can find a soul guide. That works. A human. We can get some more mana now. I don't think they meant to do that. They should have done that in their upkeep, then they could have dredged the imp. Oh, well, they wanted to play the hollow one, I guess. They wanted to play 2 hollow ones. Sure. That's fine. What is this? Need 4 humans for this one. Green, blue, colorless. They still can dredge. Kind of forgot that part. We're not. Their crazy board is not the only thing they have. Whoops. messed that up. Alright. So we can Brutal Cathar one of their things, and then we can try and find a Containment Priest. There we go. And I think we just make a food here. Alright, we go to their turn. And they just back it up. Okay. Don't think we're going to sideboard anything special here. That seemed to work out okay. Tempted to swap an Oko for a Swords, I guess. But I want the blue count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Our blue count's already low. I think this is okay. I don't like it, though. I like our opponent to do a lot of mulliganing. I think that's how we win this one. This is risky. We've got Containment Priest. We don't have a second land. And they're first. There's no way of protecting it. I think we have to mulligan this. Well, this is terrible. Can't keep that. I don't like it, but it is a hand. Could really use a Mox or a Lotus or something. Okay. Cavern, please. Cavern would be a nice one. Lavinia. I think we have to, unfortunately, I think we have to try and get the priest down, even though it's almost certainly going to die. I did not realize it. I didn't think about them being able to put stuff in response. That was a little silly of me. This was probably not the ideal timing window there. We just got domed for 9 as well, jeez. Do they have a... They can have a Sickening Shoal. Still would like a Mox or a Lotus or something. Let's see if this works. So they can't play spells after this one. So if they gotta do something, they gotta do it now. Okay. So we're just gonna try and hit them for 2 here. Not entirely sure how they can get out of this. They can hit us for... How many chills do they have left? They have 1 chill. They can hit us for 3 with a chill. I'm not sure how else they can deal damage to us, though. Yeah, that gets countered. Yeah, there we go. That was a nice rally there. Can't complain. Okay, off to the next round. Mic wasn't plugged in. We are on the play here. Ugly. I don't think I can keep that. Oh boy. No Lurrus. I think we have to keep Sokrates as a pitch card to Force of Negation. And just hope we draw stuff that does things, I guess. This seems awful. Oh boy. Do I go to 5? Oh boy. Maybe just go to 5. Alright. Well, that's better. Keep. Buy. The mouse is being weird. Buy. So we're going to try and get a turn 1 Lavinia down here. So let's see if our Sapphire gets countered. If not, we're just going to go human. White, blue. We'll see how this goes. And we're just going to hope we're not playing against Dredge again. Or in case I'm reordering these, because you may have a Dredged league in the future. Alright, so they didn't waste us, so we're just gonna recall here. I don't know what they're on, but let's get white. What is it? Savannah? Yeah, white, green. Let's play the Dismantler. Okay. They want to waste us, they can. Alright, they got a blast. I guess they're on breach. This looks like breach. It's fine. Okay. That's annoying when we got 2 4-drops in hands. Oath of Druids. Okay, not breach. We're in trouble here now. Don't think we can beat that. Assuming they're on Atraxa, we're just dead here. I guess attacking with the Hierarch didn't actually do anything, so that was silly, but we're already dead, so it doesn't really matter. This looks like Wessel's Rug stock up Oath deck. Classic bingo gaming. And I think we can safely pack it up here, but why not take a draw step for funsies? Yeah, it's a little late. It's a little late for us, so well. Alright. Okay. Turn 1 Lavinia with Force of Will back up, not good enough. I'm guessing that's my fault. Definitely feels like it's my fault. Oh well. I'm not sure if they're probably not running show and tells. The Brutal Cathar can be interesting off the show and tell. I don't think Rick's really what this game is about. I guess the Coppercoats aren't really super relevant. Maybe if they're running show and tell, that could be relevant, sort of, maybe. I don't know. What? Oh. Ooh. I think it's a reimbursement from. If you watched my my last league on Bizarro, my matchup against Tony Scaponi, we won game 1, then we couldn't sideboard games 2 or 3 due to lag, so I filed a report. 4 mind break traps in the sideboard against Visage, and I couldn't bring them in, which is annoying. But I got 100 play points back, and we still went positive in that league, so that was not a bad run there. Anyway, let's try not to try to make sure we sideboard here. I don't like trap, but I think as like an extra counter spell, when we have 4 mana, we can just hold it up. I think it's fine. I don't love this, but I don't think it's terrible either. We really want those containment priests. Sure. I think the idea is going to be turn 2 Lavinia, and then turn 3 we can hold up Force of Negation, I guess. I should probably have a Scry land in this deck. That we have to counter. And then we have to counter it again, so we're probably dead here now, unless we start ripping good cards, but oh well. We're almost certainly just dead here. That is not a good draw. I guess we can take them off green, which is something. A little late for us, I will. Fun. Very fun. Can attack the Oko, assuming one of a million things doesn't go wrong. That would be one of those things. Okay. Oh boy. We are very dead. We can't even kill the Oko, even if they swing out, we can't even. We actually have to block, but. Oh boy. Okay. Good game. Good game. Okay, it's a bit of an odd one, but we got a recall and a misstep, so it's a little risky, but I think it's a keep. We have 2 draw steps to find land 2. Okay. At this point, they know we don't have anything but What a start from our opponent there. Powerful. We could really use a on-color Mox kind of thing here. Oh geez, that more. Wild. Wild start. I don't know about this one. Not sure how much longer I want this one in vintage. Alright, let's see if we can find some Mox in here. We'll actually overdraw if we cast this now, so. Would still like a Mox in here. That way we could Wasteland and play Lavinia or something. Right now we can't do all of that. Human. White, blue. Alright. Draw a green source. Maybe the Dismantler is still better. Mantler is not a bad one. Blue, blue, blue. Under Trap Trainer Offspring 1. I think we do want to counter this. It's kind of like a tempo play. They can replay it, to be fair, but yeah. Vexing Bauble, sure. Green mana source would be nice. I'm not sure why they did not. Gun can attack through the trainer, which is kind of annoying. They already have a ton of mana. I'm not sure if keeping them off mana is actually helping us here. Maybe it is. The 4 mana they can cast PO, but we really want to get Boromir into play. I think we want to get Boromir into play. I'm not sure if we're really constraining their mana here. This looks like a PO. A Yawgmoth's Will. That's bad too. Now I wish I would have hit the Academy, I guess. At this point, I'm just going to F6 here. Powerful. This deck sure has a lot of card advantage, doesn't it? That gives them infinite turns there. I'm gonna pack it up. All right. Let's see. I don't really want the swords. Bring in the trap. They don't want Sokrates. And bring in some of these. Don't need Rick. The Yokos can hit Lurrus, but they can also hit things like Time Vault that's sitting around. And it's a blue card. Glenn has a hard time attacking through the stupid, whatever they're called. I don't really want the Brutal Cathar. Have the Ochres. Alright, let's give this a whirl. They had a brutal turn 1 there. We didn't get to. I got to do some crazy stuff before we got to play some of our lock pieces. So we even had a misstep for the turn 1 recall, but then they forced it and still went off with time walk. So hopefully we can get a bit of a stronger start here. This is super risky. Really, really, really risky, but I'm gonna keep it. Oh, this is a Force of Negation. Yeah. Alright, we're dead. Fair enough. It was a high roll. It did not work out. Alright, well, Greenland, we'd be back in this. It's a wasteland. Greenland, please. I'm going to try and Force of Negation this one. Greenland, please. Greenland. Greenland. Okay. Trop. We need to fade this turn. No, we didn't fade the turn. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Mox, okay. Sure. Alright, so we have to try and play this flux now. I think we have to play the Lavinia. On this. We play the flux. And we waste them. And we hope this works. No. Play out our land. We're just gonna swing for one here. Okay. Just gonna F6 here and see what they do. They got a lot of turns here, so they're rebuilding for sure. Gonna get my Savannah here. And we're just going to attack. Use a wasteland. That'd be a nice draw. Can't do anything here. They got 3 lands, so they're back in it. Alright, we're not drawing very well here. We do have engines in the deck, we are not finding them. I get +2 2+2, so it would be a 3 toughness, so I guess it's worth attacking. And there we go. They have all the men in the world at this point. Yeah. Remember when I said we don't need any removal spells? I'm not sure about that one anymore. I could use an Oko, but they probably have a counter spells at this point. I don't think we can actually win this. Let's see if they care about Coppercoat Vanguard. They're not blocking, so I assume they've got a PO that they're trying to play here. Alright, you got it. I guess this is a PO coming, so it's going to let them do their thing. Okay, so overall 2-3 here. Not a terrible league or anything, but not exactly amazing either. Just a recap here. I reordered this a bit so we could get the stock up Stasis, very cool deck league at the beginning. So we played against Dredge in the first two. 1-1, lost one. I think that's reasonable. We've got Wasteland, Strip Mine, main deck. We've got Lavinia that can deal with some of the permission elements. Get that down early. They can't force the will, grief, etc. And the sideboard, we've got Containment Priest, Soul Guide, Lanterns. Then we've got cards like Boromir that can find redundant copies of them to deal with answers to them. So we have play against Dredge, but we're definitely not set up in a way that's, I think, very favorable there. So I think evenish makes sense. I don't feel particularly favored or anything, but I also don't think it's a horrible matchup. Oath, though, I think is a terrible matchup. I think Oath, especially I think Oath is just really well positioned against some of the mid-range creature decks. I like to play a lot of mid-range creature decks. Oath is just a classic way of punishing that kind of strategy. And we don't have a ton of enchantment hate main deck. We've got Force of Will, Force of Negation main deck, but if those don't work, then we probably just lose, which is a little unfortunate. We could bring in the 4 Containment Priest. That's good in the deck, but it's not great. Definitely a matchup that I would try to want to avoid. We're definitely unfavored there, so I think that one, kind of went as expected. I don't think it's an auto lose or anything. We do have tools for the matchup encounters, and Containment Priest and things like Lavinia can help make sure our counters work and our opponents don't. So we have tools for the matchup for sure. It's just not amazing. And then also Oko can, even after an attracts, it can actually stabilize the board. That was the Planeswalker version, but Brutal Cathar, if you play it, we've got 2 in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. On this Show and Tell version, if you put this in, your opponent still gets the Atraxa trigger, but Atraxa goes, which can buy you a bit of time. But yeah, not what we want to play against. Now, the stock up Stasis deck, that was very cool, but I think it was pretty similar. Still playing the Rings and Fast Mana and stuff. And I think, we have a lot of tools for just a normal Jewel Shops matchup. I think that kind of showed out there where we have things like Dauntless Dismantler, Lavinia, Forces, Sideboard, Energy Flux, Trap. We just have a lot of tools for the artifact-heavy deck there. I think it was nice to see that play out. Less nice to see was us getting destroyed by Lurrus PO there. That was a little surprising, to be honest. I mean, Lurrus PO is probably the strongest deck in the format right now. I mean, it's got a bullseye on its head and people are ready for it, but it's still extremely good and at the top of the meta. So I'm not, overly surprised that we lost to it, but if you watch the match, it was pretty bad. we managed to remove all of their artifacts and they had no mana with Wasteland Energy Flux and still lost game 2 when they had no permanence, just because we couldn't close out the game in time. I think that's really bad. I think the clock in this deck is just too bad. I think the Coppercoat Vanguards, Sokrates, Glenn, and Arcades need to get replaced by, I'm not sure what it would be, but some sort of human that's just a very efficient, quick clock. Ideally something with maybe a little bit of prison-y element to it, if that's out there, but just something that's much more aggressive, like something more Tarmogoyfy. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the answer is there, but the deck needs a haymaker kind of threat to fill that sort of role to close out games as the second wave after we get down a lock beach. If we need to play a Lavinia, Dismantler, Flux, have Force up, etc. We also need to be able to actually win the game, and I think I think what this deck is missing right now is that haymaker to close things out there. Yep, I think that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway, even though it wasn't the most. We didn't win the a ton of matches there, but still a decent 2-3, I guess. So if you're still here, like, comment, subscribe. All that's really appreciated, and I'm always interested to hear what people are thinking. So let me know, and I will see you next time.